If you're a bit of a nervous flyer like I used to be, then I hope you find this video useful. I'm going to share with you what I take on board every time I fly, and I find it really helps me. Now, I'm not a medical professional, so full disclaimer, but I find these things work for me. So the first thing is this bark rescue remedy, and you can get different ways of using this. So I think this is like a liquid, and then there's this spray bottle, and I spray a couple of sprays onto my tongue as soon as I get onto the aeroplane, and I find that really helps chill me out. The next thing is I use what's called Optravine, and this has been recommended to me by an ear, nose and throat consultant. I've got very narrow ear canals and I've had problems in the past, so he said the most important thing when I'm flying is to make sure my ear canals are clear. So in addition to taking this on the fly, I'll tell you more about it in a second, also a couple of days before I'm flying I will use old bass oil. I'll link to it below, which is completely natural, and I put 2 or 3 drops in a bowl of sort of warm water, and I inhale that with a towel over my nose for about 3 minutes twice a day for the 2 days running up to my flight. So with regard to this Optravine, what I do is I just use as the instructions say, and basically you squeeze it and put 1 spray up your one nostril and 1 spray up the other nostril, and that just really helps clear my nasal passages. Now the next thing, this is a really old box. These are called travel bands, and this is another natural way of helping with your, basically your ear pressure and just traveling. And it's these 2 little bands. This is them, that's how they look on your hand, and this is the one when it's actually on your hand. So, well, on your arm I should say. So what you do, if I put it on my right hand, you put them on. Can I show you that? So you put them on here, so it's like, I don't know, 2, 3 fingers lower than your palm, and you have to put this on the vein. And I just wear them underneath my jumper, and nobody knows I'm wearing them, and I just wear them on the flight, and that's just, I don't know if it's placebo, but it works for me. So those are travel bands. Another thing I wouldn't travel without is these, which are called Fly Fit, and they're actually 2 little sort of ear plugs that you put in your ears. Now I use these when we're taking off, and if I'm not listening to any music or listening to anything on my phone, and they help with the difference in the air pressure between the aeroplane and your ears. And if I show you them here, they're really tiny little earplugs, and you use this special, I'll show you there, special device, and you do that, put that on there, and then you put them in your ear. And what's really good is that in the past I've had issues with pain in my ears, especially when I'm landing, and I find if I put these in, it really helps. So yeah, essentials for me personally. The next thing is I always make sure I either have my phone or I have an iPad, and I've downloaded my meditation music, which I listen to, and also some TV shows. And then I know they're rather large, but I've used my very old noise cancelling headphones, and I just plug them into my phone. And these, they're very old. As you can see, they just really block out the sound of the aeroplane. And if you are a nervous traveller and do worry when the sounds of the aeroplane change, so when the noise lessens or the noise gets louder, then I find they really help. And they were recommended to me by a course which I went on called, well, a couple more things to show you, but I'll just tell you more about the course, and this isn't sponsored. But when I was really struggling with flying, I'm going to blame the lovely menopause, because it was about 8 years ago when the menopause hit me. I went on a course at Heathrow, which is run by British Airways, and it's called Flying with Confidence, and it was amazing. The first thing was just to know that there are probably about, I don't know, 300 to 400 people in this big conference room with me, just to know there are other people who also are finding that flying can be a bit stressful. We had the morning with some pilots, and they were telling us all about the mechanics and technical details about how the aeroplane takes off, and just allaying any fears that anybody had about the aeroplane dropping out of the sky. You'll be amazed at all the different safety procedures which they have. And then the afternoon was all about the psychology. So they were talking about your breathing, and we did a short meditation, and then we got on an aeroplane. And as one pilot was flying us, I think we sort of went down the south coast or the English Channel, the other pilot was telling us all about the different noises that happen. So when the sort of bongs go off at the beginning, that means that the flight crew need to sit down and they're just about to take off. And then talk about the way that the sounds get lessened when we are going higher and higher. And it was so interesting. And they suggested that we stand up, walk around the aeroplane, and we were all on such highs afterwards. So if you are feeling a bit nervous about your next flight, then I highly recommend going on the course. It's not cheap. It's about £350 to £400, and different airlines do them. So it might be something to consider so that it doesn't stop you flying anywhere. And then I've got two more things to show you. The next one is good old chewing gum. I used to work for Wrigleys, funnily enough. And I use this when I'm taking off and landing, just to help with the air pressure changes in my ears. And then of course some hand wipes, especially nowadays with the whole coronavirus issue that we had. I'm always making sure I wash my hands. So yeah, those are just some of the tips. I will share with you now on the screen my latest travels where I went to Ireland.